All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I am doing a different type of video. A subscriber sent me a video. Check that out. I'm actually getting subscribers sending me videos first time, and we're gonna go over it. And it's actually pretty interesting. It didn't seem like much at first, and once I saw it, and I saw the link that was given to me. It was actually pretty interesting video. So let's get into it. So the link that I got was from this daily dot, and it's about what's it called, a Dominos Manager that does an interview and records some of the interview and puts it on TikTok, and it went viral. A lot of it had to do with two responses that the person gave, that he actually mentioned only those two responses. He didn't record most of the responses from the candidate, but he did say the two strikes that he gave the candidate. But yeah, those two strikes went very viral. And there is some in the comments are just a little bit of both, but it seems like they kind of going a little bit against the Dominos Manager. But it's very interesting. Let me see if I can get to it here. I actually was able to find this TikTok, but
this is the most interesting interview I've had in a while. First thing, kid walks in the door and he goes, "Do you have a Band-Aid?" Now here's the fun thing about running a restaurant. When you run out of bandages and nobody tells you, you find out when you go looking for a Band-Aid. So they give the young man a gauze pack, help him stop the bleeding, whatever, wrap it up. It worked out just fine. We walk into the office, start having the interview. I proceed to tell him that I'm going to record the question. Do you have a Washington State food?
So as he recording the interview, this is basically what you see from the interview. It's just him answering questions, and you don't really see the answers, which is good. I would not want to be, recorded just for a TikTok guy.
10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. On the frequency of which I can expect you to call out, what would be the number that you give yourself? The last question
I have for
you is mostly just, I want you to kind of sell yourself to me. So I have one more interview scheduled for this position, and I'd like you to... So all in all, he answered those questions very, very well. He seems like he really wants the job. He seems like he really needs the job, wants to get to work immediately. That's great. Things that are working against him right now. He got here and he did not walk in the building. Instead, he decided to message me on Facebook, which is how we contacted each other to begin with. And he wanted to figure out if this was where the interview was. Strike one. He already knew where the interview was. He knew what position he was looking for. He just didn't walk in the building. The only other thing he did,
and that got a lot of backlash because the gentleman did not walk in. And I know the way he's saying it sounds funny, but you got to take it into perspective that you're going to an interview at Domino's, you follow directions to get to the place, and then you see Domino's, and it's like, is the interview in Domino's or is it in KFC? Why would you not think this is the place? And that starts to, being in the business or usually people should understand, that's not a good start. You got to figure some common sense kind of kick in there. And so I understand. I wouldn't necessarily give him a strike. I would just think I would be like, that would be in the back of my mind. That's all. But, let's continue.
Wrong was he told me that he would give himself a 3 on that question about calling out. 3 is 30% out of 10-ish, So we got to address that right out the gate. I don't like people calling out on me, especially when I give people the time off that they want. So tell me, would you hire this young man? I'd like to know.
Okay, so the big question was, do you hire this guy? And the second strike, before I skip over that, was he asked one question, basically from 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself in the tendency of you calling out, right? And apparently the gentleman gave himself a 3. 3, 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. 3 is horrible, right? And it's one of those things, people were comparing this to this is not the CIA. This is the Domino's. Why are you taking this so? But it doesn't make any sense for people to have that, that way of looking at things, because if you ordered your pizza from this person and they just somewhat show up really late, or show up with 30% of the order, you're gonna be like, well, it's just Domino's, it's okay, you guys, whatever, I'll give you my money and it's just Domino's. You guys are not the CIA. Like, it's not going to happen. You're going to be very upset. So you still want, it may not be the CIA, but you want the person to be able to answer the questions to a way that you are comfortable that this person's going to be able to do the job. And calling out, I personally think, is the bare minimum for any job. Calling out is, basically showing up. You can't show up. Like, you're not showing up. You call out, you're not showing up to job. That's, I don't want to sound like, caveman, but yeah, it's not that difficult. People are making it sound like people got to be extremely, I don't know. I know people are not going to like my answers, but it's just, you deal with someone that, if you're a manager, you ever been a manager and people are just calling out and he's going to be like, all right, it's fine. You're like, no, because calling out causes a ton of trouble, a ton of problems, and it's just the bare minimum for any job. Like, you can train anybody, you can train, well, not anybody, but you can train most people, right? All right, let's go back to the other screen. So from this link, yes, there was some comments that they kind of highlighted, and some people were like, yes, I hired him. Do you know how many people would have lied and said no, chance of calling out just to get the job? So, no offense, I get it. It sounds like he's being honest, but I also think that he had to be confused and answered that wrong. And the reason why people will probably say, like, why do you think he's confused? It's the guy didn't walk in, so I don't think he, I don't know, maybe not the brightest tool in the shed, maybe, I don't know. I think he might have gotten the 1 to 3 confused and, upside down it, making that 3 really like a 7. That's in his head, maybe, because nobody gives himself a 3. And again, if you're bad at not showing up to work and you're just, I'm honest, that doesn't mean, well, okay, well, at least you're honest, I'll hire you. Like, no, it doesn't. I don't understand the way people think. And look, I guess that's the way you would if you had your own business and you are not even your own business or a manager of a business or anything like that, and you want to deal with people just calling out on you all the time. Go at it. I would just say that. Go at it. So yeah, some viewers weren't as sure. Yeah, of course, some viewers would not want to hire this person, which I totally understand. Someone said I would ask him to explain his answer and work from there, and that's actually a good response, because that's the way I feel. I feel like he kind of misunderstood that question, and I don't think he gave the right answer. That's just my opinion, and I could be 100% wrong, but if he really means that he's going to be calling out that much a month, and somebody even said, oh, that means he might only call out 2 to 3 times a month, but he'll be there the rest of the time. 2 to 3 times a month is too much. I don't understand. I don't understand, since just not showing up to work became so acceptable. I don't know how this is an acceptable thing, but look, I guess I'm built differently, but I never thought calling out was, it was just not a respectable thing. It was just not something that you do. It's the minimum requirement for any job. Showing up to work is the minimum requirement. So, and he also said, they were talking about, well, it's a minimum wage job, so why are you taking this so serious? And apparently he was like, this is a driver's job, and the drivers make up to $30 an hour. So, it's not really a minimum wage job. And at the end, if it was a minimum wage job, so that means you're working minimum wage, and you should just kind of not have your responsibilities to be reinforced. But that wouldn't make any sense, because we are trying to raise minimum wage. So, what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So people are trying to give a lot of attention to minimum wage, but only the attention of, giving it more money, but the employee doesn't have to do their job. I don't know. What does that mean? I know somebody's not going to like that answer, but that is what some of the responses kind of pointed to. So again, you leave me your comments. What do you think? And again, you see the TikToker's name there, Miguel Saucy. Check out the TikTok. Check out the whole video. It's like it's still in the top. You'll be able to catch it really easily. And give me comments. Let me know what you think. A little different. Thanks for They just left their initials, KCM. Thank you for the video. Much appreciated. Again, leave your comments. What do you think about it? I mean, I know it's a little, I wouldn't say controversial, but people didn't like this guy's answers and were a little confused, and it was a little bit of back and forth with the comments. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. All right. Peace. Later.